I think we're going to do a taste test here, because we love to get our customers involved in taste testing, because that's our credibility factor here. These are two of our very favorite customers. This is Fred and Elizabeth, and they are from the East Coast, and they are here on the West Coast after walking, canoeing, and biking here. And I guess we're going to try something. We're going to compare the low-sodium beef ravioli to the regular beef ravioli. Is that what we're up to?
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that would be fine.
And we're not going to tell them which one is which, so here we go.
We can try this. I'm going to say this has got sodium in it. I don't know if I'm right.
This right here tastes saltier than this one does, but I like the sauce on this one. This is a little dry here, but this right here isn't quite salty enough for me. If it had just a whisker more salt in it, I think it would be. I think it would be perfect.
But it's hard to tell them apart.
They do look different,
Yeah.
and it looks like we have more sauce in one than the other, or the sauce is thicker than the other.
Right. It's
in this one.
yeah. This
One's
right.
in meat sauce, one's just regular.
The consistency.
Oh, okay.
The consistency of this right here with the sauce, I like a lot better than this. And as far as I'm concerned, I think this should have a whisker more salt in it. It tastes a little flat compared to this.
So this one actually is in a meat sauce. So it's a beef ravioli in a meat sauce. This is a beef ravioli, but it's not in a meat sauce, or there's less meat.
But they're both very good.
Okay.
And the one on the left looks so much better.
And John is trying one.
Yeah, I just tried this one that's a little drier. It does taste good.
I think it's this beef ravioli in meat and
And then here's the one that's
this
very
beef
saucy.
in meat sauce. This is in meat and textured soy protein sauce.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I was wrong. Is this one the beef ravioli here?
Well, okay, I'll tell you. The one with the 1 marking is reduced sodium.
Okay.
Yeah, because this right here is my taste. It was just a little flat because it didn't have quite enough salt in it.
It looks better.
Yeah, it does. It's more pleasing to the eye, and the texture is better because I like the sauce and I like the meat in the sauce. So the only drawback with this is it needs a little more salt. So you can always cure that problem by putting salt to it.
Or do what Jenny does. Frank's red sauce.
Frank's hot sauce.
That fixes everything in Jenny's mind, doesn't it?
Everything.
Do you want to try
Frank's
this,
red
Jen?
Yeah.
This is beef ravioli in meat sauce. And that's the beef ravioli in meat and textured sauce.
Jen is not a fan of textured vegetable protein.
Yeah,
But
so
we'll
we'll
see.
try this one
We'll see what
first.
happens.
And this
Okay.
one is the low sodium, yeah.
Uh-oh. I see that face.
I've had this before.
Have you?
I think maybe it was a meatballs that I had and I liked. It tastes like a bad version of Chef Boyardee.
I think it's much better than Chef Boyardee. Yeah.
Me too.
I'm going to just add a little bit of salt to this to see if I can bring it to my
Well, you know what,
palate.
Jenny? I can
So
tell
I
you
add a
right
little
now
bit of
why
salt
you're doing
to it.
this. You heard the word soy and TVP before you ate it.
No, that one's sweet.
Yeah, well,
The one without the low sodium has kind of sweet. And neither of them are.
When I added a little bit of salt to this,
Neither one.
I find it much more palatable.
I'm not the
and what do you think?
That's something I would have.
I thought this one was a low sodium, but it's very hard to distinguish, and I like both of them.
Yeah.
Okay, now Jen, you tried a different one, didn't you? Or did you just try another bite of that one? Oh, John's trying. Is that the first one
Mhm.
that you
Yeah,
tried?
the drier one is the one that is not low sodium. It has all the sodium in it,
Right.
and it
Frank's red hot.
it is more palatable with the salt, I have to say. But this one is in a sauce, and the moistness of it is appealing.
Right,
And Fred put some salt on it, and it's much better.
it is much better. So in other words, just add a little bit of salt to it and you're fine. And this is what I would order this one right here, because when we travel, we use ramen, and they got a little flavor pack in there. It's just salt. It says it's chicken, beef, or crab, but it's all salt. That's what it is. And so you break that pat and you can just salt up your stuff with it, and it works fine.
All right.
But they're both very, very good.
Open that up and
I just open it right here, right?
try to.
So you guys are trying what again?
Cranberry, raspberry, First Strike.
Energy
Nutritious energy bar.
Ah, that's one
It's-
Jen really likes. I like that one too.
It's very light, and it's full of calories.
Okay, I'll take, here, you take half. Boy, this is thick. Wow.
Yeah.
It's going to take a long time to chew.
I really like that one.
130 calories just in this small little package.
I like the sweetness of it. And I can taste the cranberry flavor of it. And it's packed with calories.
So is that one a pass?
I would say yes, it's a pass on this one. It's got enough sweetness for me, and it's got just a little bit of
Dried cranberry.
sourness in it that's not overpowering. And so this gets my endorsement.
We had a customer that ordered the mini First Strike bars, and we have these in 12 packs, and that we did have a customer that just didn't like the mocha, and so he asked us to take the mocha out, and we went ahead and did it for him because of the quantity that he ordered. He ordered so many
Wow.
that we felt that it would be good to serve him in that way.
I don't see the caffeine in here.
Oh no, that's the mocha one.
Oh,
The mocha one has the caffeine in it. Yeah.
This is the mocha one. Yeah.
This is not bad. It's not as sweet as I'm a sweet tooth, so it's not quite as sweet as I would like it. But it is very
It's-
palatable.
Instead of going right onto the West 11th, there's bike paths all the way out.
That's what we were wondering about.
Yeah, and so that's the route for all the bike paths.
So anyways, Elizabeth and I were doing I think it was a bike trip in New Hampshire on back roads up in the mountain area. And we ran out of food. And it was really interesting because the nearest store was going to be too far away to bike because it was late in the day. So Elizabeth said, I'll just go up the road and I'll knock on a door and just ask the guy where the nearest store is, because the one we wanted to go
that
to.
was near Concord, Ware, New
yeah,
Hampshire,
yeah.
yeah.
So anyways, what we did was she went up to the door and she knocked on the door and she said, "Hey, Chiba," she says, she says, "We're looking for a grocery store so we can get some food to eat because we're out here camping." And so the guy said, "Hey, look, lady, here, why don't you try this?" And he handed us 2 of the combat packs of MREs. And she thanked him. We took them back. We opened them up and fell in love with MREs.
And the rest is history.
Yeah. And they gave me these little packages today, which I haven't even run into before, but I'm sure they'll be handy. We'll try them.
We started in Maine, and we biked to the White Mountains of New Hampshire. We did that in the early spring, and we never thought that the snowpack would be roughly up to here. We could walk on the top of it. The trail we followed through the White Mountains was the Appalachian Trail. The only way we could follow the trail was with tree blazes. They were high enough, like this, but they were on fir trees, and the blazes were white, so you get confused sometimes with all the sap blended in with the blaze. And we canoed the chain of lakes, picked up the river, canoed the river, and we could not lift a 300-pound canoe over the dam. So we had to go around this section of dams along the brook. And there was a rail line that went through the gap in the mountain. We decided that the only way we could do this was to portage up that rail line. And we'd take the canoe with half our gear in it, and we'd drag the canoe 1 mile down the track. We'd walk back a mile and pick up our backpack, and then we'd walk all the way down to where the canoe was and then camp out. And then the next day, do the same thing. We did this for 5 days.
We were going to do this on unpaved surfaces, and we did it that way for the first 5 years. And then this year, we just got too old, so we figured, well, we have to go on pavement.
And we were running out of,
Time.
Yeah.
we're running out of unpaved surfaces. We crossed Kansas, and we guessed it was 85%, 90% on dirt roads. We got to western Kansas, and we ran out of dirt roads, and got into the western or the eastern frontier of Colorado, and the dirt roads were few and far between. So we had to get on the
96, I think
it was 96. We got on 96, and then did that. But the Kansas was a 60-day trek across that.
I believe it. I grew up in Nebraska. I know how flat and barren and nothingness there are. But you do have plenty of side roads and dirt roads.
That's right. That's
You
what
have
we did.
all your farming roads.
That's
and
right.
Yep.
That's exactly
Yeah,
right.
we did a lot of those.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are almost done now.
Yeah, I know. This is the downhill part, right?
Yeah,
here.
are you ending then in Florence?
Yeah, right. We're gonna
Oh,
follow you.
that's not as bad. You guys, are you good? Should get there tomorrow.
No, it's 50
Not
miles. 10 miles a day is the best
We're
we can
figuring
do.
a week. These MREs are invaluable because they are, they provided a very compact way of us eating without access to convenience stores, which are expensive. And these were, I figured out these were a very economical way to travel.
Yeah.